Nkunku is back. Christo is back. He's been training with the first. He's been training with the first team for some time now, and he is. It's likely he could be available for the Newcastle game, but the sort of medical team are taking their time with him, and understandably so. You don't want a reoccurrence of an injury after being out for so long. So I'm thinking, even if he will be involved, maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes in the end of the second half, or maybe even less, and I'll be okay with that because you don't want him just for one game, but you want him to be available for the rest of the season. So that's good news because I think Nkunku's sort of return to fitness bodes well for the team. And for me, I see him having a dual role. He could play the 10 role behind the striker, or he could even be used as a striker, a fluid striker. That's how I'll put it. But it bodes well to have him back in the team. So I wonder what your thoughts are. Let me know what you think about having Nkunku back in training. He's in training as well, to be fair, with Lavia. Lavia as well is in training. So that's good. That's good news as well. So looking forward to the Newcastle game, and it's an away game. So let's see how that goes. Hopefully he has some time on the pitch. So what do you think he would replace, in your opinion? Do you think maybe Palmer will go to the bench? I know he has been very impressive, but if I was to pick someone for that 10 role, for that attacking midfield role behind the striker, and given that Nkunku has shown sort of very good partnership, very productive partnership with Nicholas Jackson, especially during the preseason, I would then say I would give the nod to Nkunku. And then there could be an argument to say you have Palmer play out on the left, and then you have Nkunku play the 10 role, and that could then mean Gallagher would be on the bench. And for me, I know people are raving about Gallagher, saying he's been impressive, he's been making so he has such good numbers. But the question is, what type of teams has he been playing against? There are teams that suit his style of play. There are teams that want to play from the back, that want to own possession, and so he can press the living daylight out of those teams. But when you come against teams that want to defend, like Newcastle can do sometimes, want to defend and let you have the ball, is he able to create? Is he able to pass those balls in between the lines? Is he able to create something out of nothing? So for me, I still think I'll have Nkunku there in place of him, and then just maybe have Palmer, the right wing. Now, speaking about the right wing and having Palmer play there, there's one person we're going to talk about today as well, and that is Noni Madueke. Yes, this guy, Noni Madueke. Yeah, I think Noni Madueke has received sort of bad press, bad opinions, bad takes from Chelsea fans. A lot of them have been saying he's not good enough, he needs to up his game. Even when videos surface of him doing very well for the under 21s, it's been like he's only doing that against the under 21s. But we've seemed to have forgotten that, Cole Palmer, who's been impressive for Chelsea, no doubt, but most of the games he's had until recently has been for the national team, has been for the under 21 and side. So why that's being used against Noni Madueke. And I sensed this coming. I sensed it coming because once people started to say Ian Matson, who is the left back, once people began to say Ian Matson, the left back, is actually or was actually a better right winger than Noni Madueke, then I knew immediately that this would come. I knew this would come because when you take someone who's playing a different position or has played in a different position all his life and say he's better in a position is better than someone else in their natural position, then you just don't really rate that person. So for me, I think Noni Madueke should play at right wing because he's more powerful, he's more direct, he's got more pace, and you need that playing in that role. So for me, I think Palmer will be best suited to sharing that 10 role behind the striker with Nkunku. And in games where Nkunku gets to play as a striker, as a fluid striker, then Palmer should play the 10 role behind him. I think that's where it suits him the best, where he can move around the pitch, go anywhere in the attack way that he wants to go, and then pass those balls in. And then back to Noni Madueke. One thing that people don't seem to notice on the left side, you have oh, a fullback and an um, inverted left winger. But for Madueke, he hasn't had that, and more importantly, he hasn't even had that much game time. So I don't know where all this vitriol is coming from, where all this harsh judgment is coming from. Is his place in threat or under threat? Maybe, maybe, and not because of his skill level or his talent level or even his performance level. I think it more so has to do with Mauricio Pochettino's view of him. That's what I think it's all down to. And I think sometimes managers have done this. Like I said, I'm old enough to have seen things like this happen. Sometimes managers say, "Oh, there's nothing. It's fine. We've mended fences. We've shaken hands. We're all good to go on the same page." And then you see that player not getting game time anymore because the last Carabao Cup game, I think that he played prior to the Brighton game and then Blackburn game, he played very well in that game, played very well, won a penalty, converted it, and gave the team a torrid time, the opposition team a torrid time. But after he went for the birthday party and all that, suddenly he's no longer getting game time. And even against Brentford, he was shackled, where he had no support. He had Disasi, who was the slowest, not right back, but the slowest of centre backs, having him playing at right back. So that made it difficult for him to really produce against Brentford. Although he had one of the best chances that smashed across uh, the crossbar. So I think his place may be under threat, and I say not because of his ability, not because of his desire, his hard work, his skill, but rather because of Mauricio Pochettino. And I think probably Mauricio Pochettino has taken that partying thing, to way more seriously than he had let on earlier on. So let's see how it goes. I hope there'll be a way back for him into the team because he's just that talented. Like I said, he's got it all. He's got the pace, he's got the energy, he's got the skill, to play there, and he's got a very good left foot as well. So I would love to see him get back into the team and integrated. Now, back for people who are complaining about him, nobody is the finished product in this team. Even Sterling, that is meant to be finished product, that is meant to be the most experienced of them all, of them all, of the offensive players. He's still not. He still has gaps in his game. He still doesn't give you a 10/10 performance. He still doesn't give you even an 8/10 performance week in, week out. Some games he plays very well, like demands the game, and some games he just disappears. So I don't think Noni Madueke should be singled out. I don't think it's fair for him to be singled out and and be kept on the bench saying he has gaps in his game and all that. Next season, when Angelo Gabriel returns, we'll see what happens with that. But I think Noni Madueke should be given a shot back in the team in his favorite position, not being shackled, having a proper fullback playing behind him. So that could be Reece James and Malo Gusto. Good enough. We've got two excellent right fullbacks, right backs. Now back to this guy as well. He hasn't had any falling out with Mauricio Pochettino, but the sort of growing form and excellent performances by Cole Palmer, I think, have sort of put his position under threat a bit, a tiny winsy bit, and that's Carney Chukwuemeka. He played very well. He was coming into his own, especially in the game versus West Ham, and then after scoring the goal, unfortunately, he got injured and had to go off and has been out for a long time. So, what does this mean? Palmer's been playing very well. What do we do with him? But I think his position may be slightly under threat as well. But just like Noni Madueke, I would like to see him still in the team. Now, if I get to the end, if I end this video, I have to say this: fans of the Super Eagles, I think, what do you think about Noni Madueke and Chukwuemeka being invited to the setup? What do you think about them switching nationalities? Especially Kani Chukwuemeka. Like I said, I love Noni Madueke. He has the skill. He's strong. He has all that. But I think what Nigeria needs at this point in time is an actual 10, someone that can play in the attacking role behind the striker. And I think Chukwuemeka can do that for the Super Eagles. So think about what do you think about Kandi Chukwuemeka switching over to Nigeria and Noni Madueke as well. Though the right wing isn't a huge priority, but with the way Samuel Chukwueze plays and his inconsistency, I think he needs stiff, strong competition in that position as well. So, what do you think about this? I'm not saying they've said there's any news that they're switching over to Nigeria, but let's see what you think about them switching over. So, do get us some comments in the comment section and let me know. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel, and click on the notification bell right here. So you know each time I post a video on YouTube. So you could come on and enjoy the channel and also share your opinion. Disagree with me if you feel I'm talking crap, or you agree with me if you feel I'm on the right track. So at this point, I've come to the end of today's video. So to see you on the next video on the channel, which would be the preview to the Newcastle versus Chelsea game. So keep your eyes peeled on this page, and I'll see you next time on this channel. Bye-bye.